Well, my fellow Descendants, like all of you out there watching this video, I'm counting down the days until we can finally play this game on July 2nd, and thankfully the game continues to give us more and more details. So in today's video, we are going to take a few moments, go over the information the game just passed along, and as always, answer some of the questions you've sent the channel. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. And we are having a giveaway for an Xbox Series S. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced July 4th of this year. So the first thing the game talks about in this video is that they recommend right out of the gate when you start playing that you try to unlock as many Descendants as you possibly can. And while that may be an obvious statement, I know many of you out there, including myself, already know who we're going to start with on day one. We know exactly how we like to play the game, but the reason they recommend to have a different variety of Descendants at your disposal is because certain Descendants are going to be more effective in certain game modes than other ones, and especially if you choose to roll in a group, whether it's dedicated or matchmaking, you want to make sure you have the proper squad with you. That way, no matter what you encounter, you are totally good to go. Now, one thing the game said is that you're going to be able to acquire all of the Descendants as in-game rewards. Now, I do not think they're referring to the ultimate versions, but the regular ones, you're going to get those by gathering materials obtained through combat. And once you've obtained enough materials, you are going to be able to research and permanently unlock each Descendant. And as I said a moment ago, each Descendant is going to have a unique skill set, which truly allows players to customize their build so they can focus on exactly how they want to play the game. Now, earning these materials is also how you're going to gain ultimate weapons. They have said there is a large variety out there, and each of them not only has excellent base stats, but also possesses unique abilities. Next, my friends, we're going to talk about missions, and as far as the missions are concerned, as you progress through the main story, you'll encounter a wide variety of missions, some of which you will initially play once. And as you progress through the main story arc, you will be able to replay those main missions at a higher difficulty, and just like pretty much any game out there, the higher the difficulty you play on is going to equate to more rewards. And not only that, none of these missions in the game have fixed rewards. It is always going to change on a regular basis, which is a really good thing, because as most of you know, when it comes to a looter shooter, let's say if you can only get a certain material by hitting one mission, you are going to get burnt out so quickly when you're playing this game, because we all know when it comes to a looter shooter, look, if you have to go to a certain mission to get one type of material and you're totally hyper-focused on getting that, and you need to run that same loop, that 7-minute loop over and over non-stop, you are going to slowly slip into madness, my friends. We have all been there before with a game like this, and I hope that this rotation does help avoid that. Obviously, once this thing goes live, we will have more answers. Now, that takes us to another aspect about combat, and that is the introduction of infiltration operations, which, by the way, does have a matchmaking system. And what's great about this is you do have the option of activating certain challenges when you play these, which is going to give you more rewards. However, it is not required when you do that. It's totally up to you, my friends. Next, we are going to talk about special operations, as they are some of the most challenging missions in the game. Now, you can see on screen, we did receive some new gameplay footage today showing us exactly what these are going to look like. Now, your rewards are going to be based on how many rounds you complete, and there are 3 types of operations. First of all, you have mind blocking, where you need to defeat a certain amount of enemies in a certain time frame, and apparently they're just going to be a ton that show up, so you definitely need to keep your head on a swivel. Next, we have resource defense, and in that game mode, you must protect a large area from being destroyed by enemy assaults for a certain period of time. Last but not least, we have neutralize void experiment, where the main goal is to eliminate fleeing bombers, but players must also defeat other enemies as well. Finally, today we are going to talk about Void Intercept battles, as these are going to be some of the toughest bosses apparently in the game that we are going to face. And one thing we talked about previously is that each boss is going to have a unique attack pattern, and that is going to require certain playstyle. You know what I mean? I do not think it's going to be just rolling in all DPS. Yes, it could be. I mean, we'll see what happens upon launch. But the game does mention that when you face these bosses for the first time, you quickly realize it's not just bigger bosses with more XP, it actually takes a synergized game style to beat them. We're going to see what happens very soon, my friends, and as always, any other questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know, and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Now, as I start to wrap this video up, in my opinion, and please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, each time we get information from the game, it does seem to get better and better. I love that we are going to have so many different ways to play the game, and it really seems we're going to be able to customize our build in any way we want. However, the one sticking point we can all agree on is we do not know exactly how monetization is going to work. Now, obviously, we have some sort of an idea, but as a consumer, I am always skeptical of a free-to-play game. I do not care what they say before launch. I want to see what happens once the game goes live, and I've said this previously, but I am cautiously optimistic about this game. But once again, we will all see what happens in a matter of weeks. Thankfully, this is a free-to-play game, so there's no risk when you first jump in. That is going to do it for this video, my friends. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible support when it comes to my First Descendant content. And as I've said before, I will continue to bring you these news updates as we get them. And upon launch, I'll be bringing you different farming videos, build videos, pretty much anything you need. I promise to always give you a fair and balanced assessment of a game, which means I am always going to tell you both sides of everything going on, both the good and the bad. Let me know any questions you have, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.